This is Jonathan Agger, Fifth Pro Boxing Fans, joined by Ben Shalom here in Liverpool, ahead of two world title fights this Saturday. Obviously, Natasha Jonas and Habazin in the main event. I heard you say to another interviewer that Habazin isn't that happy about all this Lauren Price talk. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, no, look, she's not happy with me, but to be fair, I agree with her. It's there's been a lot of chat around Lauren and Natasha, and look, the fact is, it's three world champions, and Natasha is the queen, and Lauren Price is the gold medalist and world champion, and Habazin is an established world champion, an established fighter, an experienced fighter coming into the best form of her life, and who really wanted this fight. And so when you have three world champions, it is hard to make sure everyone's happy, and that's why Collision Course came to light. You know, no one can hide from anyone. Everyone's got a chance. You know, it could have ended up any sort of way in terms of how we split up the semi-final, so to speak, but that's the way it's landed. And Natasha gets her homecoming, Lauren Price gets her opportunity, and may the best woman win. And as I say, Ivana has been training here for 4 weeks. She's been in the Eddie Hearn gym. She's showing all the right signs. Her and Charles Muniz are ready and have pushed for this fight and believe they're going to win on Saturday night. I can't wait. I think after that press conference and seeing the emotion, the frustration on Ivana's face, she's ready to come and spoil the party on Saturday night. Natasha Jonas is going to have to be at her very, very best.
So obviously we know it's like verbally agreed, Lauren and Tasha, if they win, essentially, or is that not true?
Verbally?
Yeah.
I think it's agreed between all of them contractually.
So if it doesn't go to plan, what's like the other option?
Habazin against Bexy Mateus headlining on Sky Sports. That's the deal, you know. Would that be amazing for us to see Natasha and Lauren Price bow out? Of course not, but that's sport. You can't guarantee a win. You can't guarantee a win at this level, especially in the unification at the top of the bill. And so the winners will fight the winners. And whether that's Habazin Price, whether that's Mateus Jonas, whether that's Price Jonas, that's what's going to happen. That's what's been agreed by everyone. And yeah, as I say, fair play to Ivana. Really respect her. Great champion. And she's here on Saturday to win.
Stephen McKenna, you kind of know what you're going to get from him at a press conference, but Lee Cutler's saying, look, if I win this fight, I get a homecoming in Bournemouth. I don't know if that's true.
It is true. But the thing is, and it's the same one, when you're sort of involved in both guys' careers, we've done the last few fights for all of them, and, you know, I'm just thinking every time Lee says something, Stevie's going to go, hang on, what? And then, you know what? So the reality is, the winner has huge opportunities ahead of them. I think for Lee Cutler to beat Stephen McKenna would be huge. He sells a huge amount of tickets. We probably would go to Bournemouth if he can beat Stephen McKenna. We probably would. We've had a great time there. Chris Bill and Smith, we started, you know, a much lower level than world level, and look what that became. If Lee Cutler can beat Stephen McKenna, he's the real deal. Stephen McKenna is a serious fighter, one of the best records in boxing, so hard to match, and credit to Lee for taking this, because he's such a hard night's work. No one wants to get in the ring. Lee's now with the McGuigan gym. They're extremely confident. They've seen vulnerabilities that they can exploit. The personalities clash, the styles are going to clash. We're in for a great fight.
Then on Eubank Ben, we've seen sort of Eddie and Napa go at it the other day. What did you make of that, first of all? And, you know, obviously their side saying the split's not right, you guys saying the split's not right. What is it going to take to make this?
I'm bored because I have done an unbelievable job, and I actually don't blow my own trumpet. I'm not one. I have done an unbelievable job. Not just me, the team, Napa, everyone involved in the management, to get Chris to come down to 55. If Eddie was promoting Chris, this would be a 70-30 fight. I think, for me, everyone can see who the A side is in that fight. I don't even care. I think fans are bored. For me as a promoter, I want to see the fight. I've done my job in more ways than they could imagine, because any minute now it's going to be back up to 60-40, back up to 70-30. So I've done my job. It shows the intent. Chris is at the point now where he wants to fight Lara. You know, he's made all his money. He's made huge money. He can go and fight for world titles. He can stand alone in arenas. He's sold out pay-per-views, but he's done pay-per-views before. I'd love to see the fight as a promoter, but I am bored because I feel like fans don't even really care about this nonsense. Anyone with a sound mind can see that we've massively conceded. I think Eddie can see that, and I trust that Eddie's going to talk some sense into his guy and get the job done.
Is it correct that you two had a meeting, he mentioned, and how did that go? Was it face to face?
Yeah, it was good. Face to face. It was good. I mean, I've been knocking down the door a long time. We've done fights before through different people, so it was good. And we talked about other fights as well. There's some big fights to come. Some really nice fights. I think I'd love to see Caroline Dubois against Terry Harper. I'd like to see the Azim Dalton Smith fight down the line. There's always been talked about Johnny Fisher against Fraser Clark, Chev Clark against one of our cruiserweights. There's some big fights to be made. So it was good to sit down and hopefully can look at a big 25.
Do you feel like that line of communication between you and Eddie is now a bit more open now that you've sort of met up and face to face and stuff? I know obviously things are going on with this Eubank Ben fight, but the fact that you're talking to each other about these fights means that sure that's a good thing. Yeah,
definitely. Look, I have no doubt that at some point things change, and I have no doubt that the competition is still there, and we are competitors. But for a young guy coming through, we've been pushed and pulled and stopped, and I think it's got to the point where we can't be ignored. But Eddie has been fairly straightforward, and I think the fight's going to get made. At the end of the day, it's a big fight, and everyone just wants to get it made.
So do you have a date for Eubank Lara in case this fight doesn't happen?
We do, yeah. I'm not going to announce it now, but we do, yeah.
And when does this negotiation need to be wrapped up with Ben?
I think if it doesn't happen and doesn't get agreed before Christmas, then I think everyone moves on.
It's reported that FA Jagba Bakoli's a done deal. Where and when will that happen?
I believe in the UK in March. Yeah.
And Ben Whittaker, any offers made to any opponents?
He said the rematch, we've said the rematch. If they're sensible, we'll do the rematch. It's a fight that he wants, it's a fight that we want. But I'm just excited to see him back. He's had a hell of a ride this year. Highest of highs, lowest of lows. Crazy year. I mean, in January we had a prospect that some people knew of. By the end of the year, he's one of the most recognised sportsmen in the country. And yes, he's had an experience, a difficult experience towards the end of the year, but that's going to stand him in good stead, and I truly believe that. He's in a great headspace, he's in a great place, he's looking forward to proving people wrong, and it's the start of a great career.
Is he going to headline next fight?
He is going to headline.
In Wolverhampton?
In the Midlands, yeah.
And lastly, Ben, yesterday Caroline Dubois announced as full WBC world champion. How do you feel about the news?
Over the moon. I mean, to have a belt stagnant for nearly 2 years is remarkable in this day and age, but she's worked so hard. She deserves it. It's a shame that she's not actually had to fight for it, and become and have that and the new moment. Every fighter dreams of that. But she's worked her whole life to become WBC world champion. I'm thankful to Maurizio for recognising everything that she's done, the fact that she's been so patient, the fact that she's been interim champion and waited on a belt that wasn't moving. And look, it's the same with Lauren Price. No one wants to fight you unless you got a world title. They're too good. And Caroline Dubois has now got the world title, the most prestigious world title at that weight. And now the big fights can happen. I want to see the Terry Harper fight. I want to see the Ferreira fight. I want to see a Una fight. I want to see it to go on and emulate what Katie Taylor has done. It almost felt like a passing of the torch. Can Caroline Dubois, at 23 years old, bear in mind Katie Taylor was 30 years old, I think, when she turned professional. Can Caroline emulate and become the star that Katie Taylor has been? That's the challenge that she's got ahead of her. I really believe she can do it.
Ben, appreciate your time. See you in Liverpool on Saturday.
Thank you.